The man woke up in the middle of the night and found that he had become a child. There was also a busted sister lying beside him. He couldn't help but self-suggest that he must have been having hallucinations from being isolated at home for too long. The next moment, he was grabbed by the collar from behind and pulled into someone's arms. The woman was telling her little brother not to move around and to go back to sleep. It was only at this moment that the man suddenly realized, "I wasn't dreaming after all." That moment of spring passion is worth 1,000 pieces of gold. I should do something. Just as he was about to lose himself in wild fancies, the host's memories flooded into my mind. It turns out that this immortal cultivation world is called the Heavenly Xian Continent. The host is named Ethan Yi, and the place where I am located is called the Scared Land of Immortal Destiny Sect. It has 4 main peaks: Jade Twilight, Celestial Court, Heavenly Awakening, and Immortal Jade. And his mother, Swift Dance Yi, is the Lord Master of Immortal Jade Peak. And she has 7 stunning disciples under her care, each as beautiful as flowers. She dotes on Ethan Yi especially, taking care of him by her side every day. Today, accompanying her are busted sister the 2nd disciple and 4th senior sister Lindsay Yu. Just then, the voice of the system came through his spiritual perception. "Host, welcome to Heavenly Xian Continent. We have now activated the supreme sacred body for you." His heart then raced uncontrollably, and Ethan Yi immediately felt a rush of heat pulsating through his body. He collapsed to the ground with a thud. "Oh no, oh no! Am I going to explode and die today?" He was thinking about how to respond. The body began to automatically cultivate under the control of the system. "Host, the system is now adding ancient chaos martial technique to your memory. It turns out that the supreme sacred body is a rare physique that appears only once every 1,000 years. It can absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth with every breath and convert it into one's own cultivation level. The ancient chaos martial technique is the supreme treasure of martial arts. Cultivators who reach the peak can move mountains and seas, shaking heaven and earth. As the heavenly thunder arrives in the sky, the spiritual energy of heaven and earth gradually gathers within Ethan Yi's body. Ethan Yi successfully breaks through to the nascent soul stage, the 2nd disciple first layer. The system will also be activated and subsequently release the sign and task. Ethan Yi panted heavily. Little Ethan unexpectedly broke through to the nascent soul stage within a few hours with no prior cultivation level. But when the thick smoke around him dissipated, Ethan Yi was surprised to find that his body had also grown bigger along with the increase in strength. At this time, the 2nd disciple 4th senior sister behind him also woke up leisurely. "It's over. If I suddenly grow bigger and get seen now, it's going to be hard to explain." At this time, the system sent a prompt. The host has completed the 2nd disciple 4th senior sister's chamber task. The host has obtained a permanent item illusion talisman that can be used to disguise different body shapes. Just as Lindsay Yu stared at Ethan Yi without blinking, the illusion talisman was timely pasted onto Ethan Yi's forehead. "Little Ease, how did you end up sitting on the ground? And your clothes are all torn." Ethan Yi chuckled and replied, "Kids don't behave when they sleep. I accidentally fell to the ground." Lindsay Yu doted on Ethan Yi and picked him up to put him back on the bed. "Why does it feel like little brother is so much heavier than before?" But she didn't think too much about it. She then turned around and got off the bed herself. It's early morning, time to get up quickly. Just as Ethan Yi marveled at the power of the illusion talisman, the system sent a new check-in task. Ethan Yi and the 2nd disciple 5th senior sister need to learn the art of Dan refining. Ethan Yi unconsciously turned around to ask senior sister about today's schedule. Just then, Lindsay Yu was leaning against the wardrobe changing out of her pajamas. "What's up, little Ease? What do you want to do?" Ethan Yi blushed and blurted out involuntarily, "I want to be a backstabber." Lindsay Yu turned hesitantly and asked, "As what?" Little did she know that this turn directly caused Ethan Yi's tears to uncontrollably flow from his nose. He fainted directly on the ground. Lindsay Yu quickly carried Ethan Yi to the immortal Jade Celestial Mother's palace to seek help from revered Shifu. When Swift Dance Yi learned that his son had a nosebleed and fainted, he was just stunned. But when she saw the twisted smile on her son's face, she was suddenly at a loss. What's the deal with this creepy smile? He woke up in the middle of the night to find that he had turned into a 3-year-old child. And he also has 7 stunning senior sisters who dote on him especially. They take care of him every day and keep him by their side. Even though she saw her son smirk, Swift Dance Yi felt a bit at a loss. But as his own mother, she still took out the floral spirit Dan she had begged for from the Valley of the Alchemy King, hoping that little Ease could change his innate talent and reshape his spiritual root. Ethan Yi thought to himself, what does hope even mean? Isn't this pure treating herself like an ox or horse? However, he did come up with a good idea. He first pretended to have a stomach ache as a diversion. Then he took the opportunity to remove the illusion talisman worn on his head. A loud bang resounded. A golden light shot out from Ethan Yi's body, piercing through the clouds. Following that, a sturdy young man appeared. Ethan Yi even acted out the whole scene. What's going on? Why did I suddenly grow up? Mom, what medicine did you give me to eat? This is too magical. Lindsay Yu falls directly from the sky. Which demon took my little Ease away? Ethan Yi can only rely on vital energy to resist. Shouting out, the second disciple for a senior sister, it's really me. The mole on the inside of your thigh can prove my innocence. Lindsay Yu was stunned upon hearing this. This is something even revered Shifu doesn't know. Only Little Ease knows. Could you really be Little Ease? The enlightened mother was excited with her eyes shining because she felt from the recent strike that Ethan Yi's spiritual energy was surging, truly befitting of a great emperor. She disregarded the eyes of others and directly hugged Ethan Yi. Truly a good son of a mother. Ethan Yi showed an awkward yet polite smile. He said he wanted to learn the masking technique since he suddenly had this opportunity, inevitably arousing jealousy from others. Learning masking would allow him to protect himself at any time. Swift Dance Yi affectionately ruffled Ethan Yi's head. Indeed, he has grown up to be smart. Then you should go find the second disciple third senior sister and learn the masking technique from her. Lindsay Yu felt a bit sour in her heart as she watched Ethan Yi wave and leave. He was just a little kid yesterday, and today he has suddenly turned into a handsome guy. Wait, something's not right. If the current Little Ease falls into the hands of the second disciple third senior sister, I'm afraid his innocence will be in danger. At the same time, inside a loft surrounded by cherry blossoms, the second disciple third senior sister Myrahan, who is good at the masking seduction technique, is currently studying a naughty book to improve her life experience. Just as she was about to move on to the practical stage, a knocking sound at the door interrupted her. The second disciple third senior sister Little Ease. However, Myrahan quickly dealt with Ethan Yi in the next second. Myrahan who had just taken off her coat, smiled slyly. Why are you blushing? It's not like you haven't seen it before. Ethan Yi was stunned. He had never seen such a situation before in his life, unlike a seasoned content creator who has seen a lot. Really appreciate it, bowing deeply. Myrahan, who changed her clothes, looked at the greatly changed Ethan Yi in front of her, not only giving a slight smile as he became more handsome, but also taller. Ethan Yi couldn't hold back anymore. Is senior sister playing so directly? In any case, Little Ease is looking more and more appetizing now. Ethan Yi composed himself and responded repeatedly. What senior sister said is true. But this renowned seductive technique is indeed irresistible. Myrahan swayed her waist and walked towards the bookshelf. Little Ease wants to learn the masking technique from me, right? She immediately disregarded Ethan Yi's consent and handed over all the classics to Ethan Yi regarding the masking technique. Let's start by thoroughly memorizing these basic texts on appearance, bone structure, facial features, and muscle aura. Ethan Yi looked at the books as if they were written in a foreign language. His mind went blank instantly, not knowing what to do. Myrahan and, who was looking at the dumbfounded Ethan Yi, seemed to have anticipated this. How about having your older sister teach you the seduction technique? This is much more effective than the masking technique. She is Ethan Yi's charming and affectionate senior sister. She is also a fierce and aloof mature woman who carries a small whip. She not only personally taught Ethan Yi the seductive technique, but also insisted that Ethan Yi give a live demonstration. Ethan Yi felt as if facing a formidable enemy. He held the book and directly hit on the side. He still felt that the masking technique was more suitable for himself. Unexpectedly, Myrahan An's black silk-clad little feet are placed directly on the door frame. Sister's book is absolutely confidential. It cannot be taken out of this room. So little Ease will stay here and read slowly. Senior sister will take good care of you in the evening. Ethan Yi, whose mind was clouded by the seduction technique, nodded repeatedly. He constantly roams in the ocean of knowledge. It was only through arduous study of various Buddhist scriptures that he managed to barely regain his sanity. Myrahan An said that the weather was too hot, so she walked out of the house. Ethan Yi retorted, "Hot? Can anyone be hotter than me? What should I do? I can't concentrate at all to study." Just at that moment, when he was scratching his head in frustration, the voice of female disciple came from outside the door. The second disciple, third senior sister, Lord Master, has ordered everyone to assemble in the meeting hall. Ethan Yi quickly pushed the door open to inquire about the situation. Only then did he learn that Solarius Ding from Jade Twilight Peak had come looking for trouble again. At this moment, angry curses from Myrahan An came from behind. She was seen holding a small leather whip, with an angry expression on her face. "Does that damn Jade Twilight Peak dare to bully me without anyone from the immortal Jade Peak stepping up?" At the same time, inside the council hall, Solarius Ding, who is living quite comfortably, sneered in a lewd manner. "It's been such a long time. Is this all you prepared? Are you trying to bribe the beggars?" Swift Dance You below speaks humbly. "This is a gesture of goodwill from immortal Jade Peak. They are all precious medicinal herbs." "Shut up. Lord Master is celebrating his birthday. Did I ask you to prepare these shabby things?" Lindsay you behind couldn't stand it anymore. "How dare a mere elder like you be disrespectful to our Lord Master?" Solarius Ding smirked coldly. "Oh, another tough cookie coming out? You probably don't know which one of the 4 peaks is not under the protection of my Jade Twilight Peak. Accepting your gifts is just to save face for you, you know?" At this time, the voice of the second disciple, third senior sister, Myrahan An, came from outside the door. "I could hear a dog barking from afar. It turns out to be you, this little dog." Solarius Ding really hates it when people call him a little dog. He immediately lashed out at Myrahan An. The situation turned completely chaotic with everyone chiming in. "I will go back and report to the Lord Master. From now on, you are on your own." Swift Dance he realized that the situation was not right. Controlling his anger, he quickly apologized. Elder Ding explained that it was all a misunderstanding. "We are willing to make amends and apologize. Please don't escalate this matter to Lord Master Chen." Solarius Ding is fond of saying this. "If that's the case, please tell me how to apologize? We will do our best to fulfill your request." Solarius Ding narrowed his eyes and looked directly at Myrahan An. "I heard that junior sister and seduction technique has reached perfection. If she can please me, maybe I will no longer hold a grudge." Swift Dance he was about to refuse, but was stopped by Myrahan An. "Sure, using a small trick is fine, but your body is seriously deficient. I'm afraid Elder Ding may not be able to withstand my methods. I have a seduction technique that I learned from a senior junior sister. I wonder if Elder Ding is willing to give it a try." Solarius Ding nodded repeatedly, accepting the offer without hesitation. Myrahan An clapped lightly and directly summoned Little Bellfly. Soon after, a slim, long, and tender white leg extended from the door. It stunned Solarius Ding directly. Little Bellfly spoke in a tender voice. "Senior sister, what's the matter? Did you call me out for something?" Myrahan and gave him a meaningful look. For Elder Ding, served the soul-stealing and bone-eroding High-Fengtian combo. Solarius Ding hurriedly walked towards Ethan Yi. He wished he could have a passionate encounter right there on the spot. Uncle Haobai, who is so fair and spiritual, is truly desired. As everyone knows, the number of times a person cross-dresses is either 0 or countless. No one can resist the temptation of cross-dressing while alive. Swift Dancy and Lindsay, you are both confused. They have no recollection of the two people leaving. There is a female disciple within the sect. As the scene changes, Ethan Yi is leaning against the bed. He has a pitiful expression, as if he is unwilling. Elder Ding, come play with me quickly. Solarius Ding was panting heavily, eager and impatient. He regretted that his belt was tied too tightly today. Otherwise, they would have already been indulging in intimate moments. After finally breaking free from the constraints of his pants, Solarius Ding went straight for Ethan Yi like an old tree with twisted roots. How could Ethan Yi, in women's clothing, let him have his way? He immediately played hard to get, toying with him. Why so impatient, Elder? Shouldn't everything proceed step by step? Solarius Ding, with a lecherous grin, slowly removed the last piece of covering from Ethan Yi. Finally, he could witness the forest with his own eyes. However, before things even began, Solarius Ding was directly brought to an end by the little elephant's trunk slapping him in the face. Immediately after, he was kicked out with a flying kick. Solarius Ding wished he could have blinded himself manually at that moment. The scene he just witnessed was truly horrifying, causing immense damage to his young heart and eyes. It seems that the second disciple third senior sister's masking technique is truly unparalleled. Ethan Yi wasn't exposed until the very last step. The dazed Solarius Ding shouted in shock that there was a man. I must report to Lord Master for severe punishment. Ethan Yi didn't say much and directly used a move called seductive in leg. Why the F*** are you still waiting here instead of reporting to the authorities? Shortly after, 3 disciplinary elders from the Jade Twilight Peak brought Solarius Ding, who was wrapped up like a mummy, to the council chamber. This behavior is really despicable. It's outrageous to beat an elder like this in broad daylight. Despite his limited mobility, Solarius Ding still managed to add fuel to the fire. There are even men infiltrating their ranks. It's just too arrogant. Swift Dancy spoke in a calm tone. How could there be men at Immortal Jade Peak? Elder Ding must be getting old. His failing eyesight is causing hallucinations. Solarius Ding was so angry that he hit the armrest. It's because of that junior sister little bellfly of yours he is a man. His small elephant-like nose twitched right onto my face. Myrahan and chuckled. We don't have a disciple named Little Bellfly here. Elder Ding, please refrain from speaking rudely. Are you trying to deceive me? It was you who asked him to take me to do the full set just now. I didn't finish my sentence. Solarius Ding realizes he misspoke. What are you going to do, Elder Ding? I'm very curious. Why are you only wearing underwear and appearing next to the women's bath on Immortal Jade Peak? Solarius Ding knew he had completely fallen into a pit this time. He was shaking all over and couldn't say a complete sentence. The 3 elders immediately made a judgment when they saw Solarius Ding, who was silent. He must have gone to peep. Such despicable behavior was discovered. He just fabricated the existence of a man at the Immortal Jade Peak. All right. This matter today seems to be just a misunderstanding. Then we will leave first. Myrahan, and is unrelenting in blocking in front of everyone. It's not so easy to leave. Whether Elder Ding was peeping at the female disciple bathing must be clarified. Solarius Ding was about to get angry when he was intimidated by a single look from the disciplinary elder. The situation is getting out of hand. Just wait to face the music. It's better to concede and make amends. Solarius Ding apologized to everyone in front of us. Myrahan and also gave a way out. I think it's just a misunderstanding. I still believe in Elder Ding's character. The 4 elders left without saying goodbye. After everyone left, Lindsay, you couldn't stop praising Myrahan in. The second disciple third senior sister, your move was simply brilliant. Myrahan and chuckled. I couldn't come up with such a brilliant strategy. It was all little Ethan's idea. Lindsay blushed. It seems that in the future, I really can't treat him like a child anymore. At this moment, Ethan Yi is humbly learning adult knowledge from senior sister. The next second, a notification came with a ding from the system. Congratulations, the host has completed the task and received the reward. Puppeteering technique. Following that, Ethan Yi acquired all the knowledge of puppeteering technique. A moment later, Myrahan pushed the door open with Lindsay Yu and saw Ethan Yi doing something so outrageous. This man is really out of line. There are 7 stunning senior sisters by her side helping her fall asleep every day and telling her to speak up whenever there is a need. However, he still doesn't know how to satisfy her. He insists on creating a puppet doll to serve himself. After Ethan Yi mastered the puppeteering technique, he couldn't wait to create it. However, he unfortunately got caught by 2 senior sisters, who immediately started criticizing him. Little Ease, if you have any needs, you can come directly to senior sister. Why resort to such despicable actions against dolls? This directly embarrassed Ethan Yi to the point of breaking down, hurriedly explaining that this is a puppet made by oneself. When this was said, the 2 senior sisters were as if they had seen a ghost on the spot. The profound and mysterious puppeteering technique, like in the entire scared land of immortal destiny, no one could understand even a bit. You can actually complete the making of a puppet by yourself. And you have done it so delicately, although it cannot move. You are already considered a genius. Who says it can't move? Once Ethan Yi finished speaking, he took out the already prepared startup device. The device is called Mind Infusion. Once installation is complete, Puppet can engage in simple language communication and possess a certain degree of autonomy. Senior sisters, do you think my puppet doll looks okay? At this point, Myrahan and the 2 had already become accustomed to it. Although very surprised, if it was Little Ease, there was nothing they couldn't accept. Ethan Yi scratched his head awkwardly. In his heart, he secretly thought, it seems that I need to be more low-key in the future. Myrahan looked at the 5 sockets on Puppet's body and asked in confusion, what are these for? These are reserved upgrade ports. When a suitable energy crystal is installed in the future, they will be used. Azure Robe will then have combat talents. And he asked if it sounds nice for Myrahan, and to give him a name? Obviously, Puppet is particularly pleased with this name. After all, everything the owner does is right. Just as everyone was communicating, a new task notification was sent by the system. Go to the Millennium Pine behind the mountain to complete check-in. Because the puppeteering technique is too eye-catching, in order to prevent unnecessary trouble, Ethan Yi borrowed a set of clothes to disguise himself like the second disciple third senior sister. A moment later, Ethan Yi arrived at the cliff behind the mountain with the azure robe. He looked at the dense forest in front of him and immediately felt dizzy, wondering when he would find what he was looking for. At this moment, Ethan Yi looked back at azure robe behind him. Although it had no cultivation level, it carried Ethan Yi's true essence and could communicate with him at will. So the 2 of them prepared to act separately. Just as the 2 were about to split up, the old rascal Solarius Ding appeared behind azure robe. After waiting for so long, finally encountered a lone disciple. He immediately lunged forward and landed behind azure robe upon seeing the situation. He directly pressed the dagger against azure robe's neck, demanding him to confess. Is there a man at Immortal Jade Peak? The 2 of them remained deadlocked like this for a long time. He watched as the other stayed silent, not even treating him as a human being. Solarius Ding was immediately embarrassed and angry. Don't blame yourself for being ruthless like this. He was slapped by a baby elephant's trunk last time. It left a shadow in his heart. This time, he is using you to make up for it. When Solarius Ding thought that this time, finally, he could wipe away his shame from before. The gears in front of him, sparking and clacking, once again made him unable to hold back. He was wondering why it was so different from what he had seen in the books. His worldview completely collapsed. Just as he was feeling depressed, Ethan Yi kicked the old man away. You bastard, have you seen enough? Do you dare to harass me, immortal Jade disciple, in broad daylight? You really don't want to live, do you? However, Solarius Ding remained calm. You've finally shown up. Last time I was careless and didn't dodge, letting you show off. This time, I'll let you know the difference in strength. The nightmare shrouding me. Let me tear it apart by myself. The man wakes up in the middle of the night to find that he has turned into a child. There is also a busted sister lying beside him. Just as he was pondering whether he was dreaming, he was forced to be embroiled in the complicated relationships between one man and 7 women. Solarius Ding fell into a state of madness. The nightmare that shrouded me. Let me tear it to pieces with my own hands. As soon as he finished speaking, a green sword aura shot straight towards Ethan Yi. Ethan Yi couldn't help but feel envious watching such a fancy move. How come he didn't have one himself? But in the midst of his contemplation, he swiftly dodged the sword aura coming straight at him. 2 days ago, he was still a 3-year-old child. How could he possess combat skills? He could only rely on brute force to dodge Solarius Ding's attack. Watching Ethan Yi slip away like an eel, Solarius Ding couldn't touch him at all. Solarius Ding was so angry that he was almost going crazy. And Ethan Yi unleashed his long-lost ultimate skill, the mocking technique. Is this unacceptable? What a sly old dog. Although Solarius Ding's cerebellum is not fully developed, he is indeed not mentally challenged. It's clear that this is pure provocation. Then he immediately exerted all his strength. With a stern face, he unleashed his full-force attack, preparing to end the battle with a single move. He watched as the tremendously powerful strike was about to hit Ethan Yi. Ethan Yi was also amazed by the fierce attack. There seemed to be no way to avoid it. He picked up a stone and used vital energy to launch an attack towards Solarius Ding. With a loud explosion, both attacks dissipated into the dust. Ethan Yi couldn't help but taunt a few words. It seems that these fancy attacks are all show and no substance. Solarius Ding was so angry that he felt ashamed and furious. This kid actually referred to his sword aura as fancy. So once again, he unleashed several vital energy attacks. Ethan Yi, on the other hand, was quite satisfied with this. The weakness in the move can only be overcome by oneself. He sought victory with the domineering ancient chaos martial technique. After all, he could absorb the spiritual energy from the air at any time and use it for himself. He was like a perpetual motion machine. Immediately, he threw out numerous small stones again. The collision of vital energy generated countless explosions, causing Solarius Ding to sweat profusely. Solarius Ding watched for a long time without success. Moreover, the other party seemed to have inexhaustible true essence, making Solarius Ding gnash his teeth in anger. In a moment of daze, another huge stone suddenly appeared in front of him at high speed. Solarius Ding, who had just recovered from his daze, quickly released a sword aura, successfully dispelling the small stone in front of him. Unexpectedly, Ethan Yi, this little creep, was hiding behind the stone and launching an attack towards him. Inescapably, Solarius Ding was eventually defeated. He was hit in the chest by a palm strike from Ethan Yi. Then he flew backward like a cannonball and landed on the giant rock behind him. After a moment, when the smoke cleared, only a human-shaped mark was left. However, Solarius Ding was nowhere to be seen. Ethan Yi also seemed startled. Looks like this guy ran pretty quickly. He disappeared in the blink of an eye. Ethan Yi then gestured for Azure Robe to leave here. He set off once again towards the Millennium Pine. And at this moment, Solarius Ding was walking through the forest, holding his waist. He was still cursing angrily in his mouth. Today's revenge will not be taken. From now on, I won't even call myself Solarius Ding. But what neither of them knew was that not far away in the sky, there was a beautiful figure watching everything that had just happened. She kept exclaiming repeatedly that it seems among the younger generation, there has appeared an extraordinary genius. Busted Beauty had such a casual encounter with Ethan Yi the first time they met. She also forcefully became one of the 7 stunning senior sisters. She is really quite domineering. Ethan Yi, who had been searching in the depths of the jungle for a long time, felt a little frustrated as he had no clue at all. As a result, he discovered that not far away, there was a pine tree with special effects. Ethan Yi's eyes lit up immediately. Usually, extraordinary appearances are not ordinary. As expected, the system beeped with a prompt. Congratulations to the host for completing the check-in task. You have obtained the skill Master of all Go game strategies. Ethan Yi couldn't help but comment. He said, "This kind of useless skill will never be used in my lifetime." He was complaining about the system being stingy. Suddenly, a chessboard appeared in front of him, floating in the air. The chessboard then returned to its normal size and appeared in front of Ethan Yi. Ethan Yi whispered to himself, "Does the system also have a function of foresight?" Right after gaining a skill, a chessboard appeared. However, he still immediately placed a black piece on the chessboard. With the blessing of the skill, he made a legendary move known as the God's Hand. 3 words slowly appeared on the chessboard. Black wins! The next second, the entire chessboard began to tremble violently. Immediately after that, Ethan Yi saw a busted beauty rushing out from below the chessboard. She kept exclaiming, "I'm finally free!" Ethan Yi looked puzzled as he watched this unfamiliar woman who flew higher and higher. He stood there with his hands in his pockets, unsure of what to do. The woman with red lips slightly parted and said, "Don't be nervous. You are a disciple from Scared Land of Immortal Destiny, right?" Ethan Yi truthfully replied that he was a disciple from Immortal Jade Peak. He was slightly surprised to hear that Immortal Jade Peak had started recruiting male disciples after a long absence. Ethan Yi looked at the unfamiliar woman in front of him with a hint of caution in his heart. He said that he was merely accepted as a special case. The outstanding woman immediately said, "Please convey my thanks to your revered Shifu Ethan Yi," and bowed in respect before asking, "May I ask who is the esteemed senior that I have yet to be introduced to?" The woman smiled gently, and in just a moment, she reached over the azure robe in front of her and lifted Ethan Yi's chin with one hand. "I am the 3rd generation Sect Master of the Sacred Land of Immortal Destiny. Back then, in a game of chess with only a half-point difference, I lost to the 2nd disciple immortal of Go game, Celestia Wang. Later, I spent my whole life unable to overcome my inner demons. Due to my deep attachment, I couldn't reincarnate for 1,000 years. Now, I have finally waited for your arrival." After saying that, she viciously kissed Ethan Yi on the face. Ethan Yi was stunned instantly. "Today my wish has been fulfilled. Finally I can return once again." Ethan Yi silly stared at the woman in front of him. 3rd generation Sect Master. Isn't that the Grandmaster of the current Sect Master? At this moment, the woman reached into her bosom and searched around for a while. "Let me look for any rewards I can give you." A moment later, she threw a slightly scented jade pendant to Ethan Yi, who picked it up. "Even the current elder has to obey your orders." Ethan Yi stood stunned in place. However, before he could recover from the shock, the woman turned into wisps of purple smoke and disappeared in an instant in front of Ethan Yi. Ethan Yi watched the miraculous scene before him. He bowed and exclaimed, "Disciple respectfully bids farewell to Great Grandmaster." Vaguely, he heard the woman's voice again in his mind. "What Great Grandmaster? Remember, from now on, you are my junior brother, the Supreme Elder of Unknown_0 Sect." Ethan Yi excitedly examined the jade pendant in his hand and thought to himself, "I am truly blessed by the luck gods." Just by signing in, he managed to obtain the title of Supreme Elder. However, he had not even had time to rejoice before suddenly sensing something abnormal. He hurriedly put on his azure robe and flew towards the depths of the dense forest. They had just hidden their figures when suddenly, with a "Pu" sound, a pillar of water appeared and descended from the sky to the spot where he had just been. The azure robe in his arms at this moment made his heart flutter. The owner's overbearing majesty is truly captivating. The next second, only Solarius Ding and an old man appeared in the center of the smoke. Ethan Yi recognized this person at a glance. It is indeed Jade Twilight, the true immortal, the current sect master of Jade Twilight Peak. Could it be that he has sensed something? At that moment, Solarius Ding was still barking like a dog. Reporting Immortal Jade Peak is not only perfunctory for your birthday gift, but also violates the rules by accepting men as disciples, clearly not valuing you. It must be severely dealt with. Jade Twilight, the true immortal, exuded a violent vital energy all over his body, which made himself restless. Yao Fengshe also appeared at Immortal Destiny Back Mountain, causing some interference. Therefore, it's time to target Immortal Jade Peak. Hiding behind the tree, Ethan Yi heard these words. He was instantly enraged and gnashed his teeth. It seems that he also needs to retaliate. This girl has always been dissatisfied with her buste. Although compared to others, it is already impressive. But she still massages it repeatedly every day. Never expected to be caught in the act by a boy today. It's really embarrassing. Lindsay wanted to let Ethan Yi come in and give him a good whipping. Ethan Yi, however, was in no mood. He was just anxiously inquiring about the whereabouts of his mother, suspecting that Jade Twilight Peak might have ill intentions towards her. On the other side, Myrahan N, who had just finished reviewing her textbook knowledge, spoke up, saying that the master had already gone to Jade Twilight Peak for an urgent matter. Without waiting for the two of them to ask for more details, Ethan Yi quickly ran towards Jade Twilight Peak. Lindsay shouted desperately, "Absolutely not! The news of you growing up cannot be revealed yet." Ethan Yi just turned back calmly upon hearing this. He made a reassuring okay gesture. You can rest assured. From now on, the sacred land of immortal destiny can be walked with swagger. Unexpectedly, it was just a subconscious gesture from him. It actually piqued the interest of the two women. They were all at sea, not knowing what it meant. But the next moment, the two of them locked eyes. They thought to themselves, "This guy is really dirty-minded. I wonder what these two people were thinking. Can someone tell me in the comments?" At the same time, several Lord Masters gathered in the conference hall of Jade Twilight Peak. Swift Dance he respectfully bowed to the several people below the stage. Jade Twilight, the true immortal, had a constipated expression on his face, frowning deeply. "Let's start when everyone is present." Swift Dance he looked somewhat astonished at the surroundings. "Elder brother of the sect, where is my position?" Solarius Ding finally found an opportunity to interject. "Criminal Swift Dance, do you still have the face to ask for a seat? Today is the Four Peaks meeting, where we will decide to launch an expedition against your immortal Jade Peak." Swift Dance's expression changed in surprise, realizing it was a trap. But he remained calm and asked, "Elder Ding, may I know what crime has immortal Jade Peak committed?" Solarius Ding spoke as he walked. In just a moment, he listed 3 crimes committed by immortal Jade Peak. First, they have no sense of shame and privately harbored male disciples. Second, they turned a blind eye to the rules and attacked an elder. Third, they deviated from the teachings and neglected to properly communicate with the sect master at the birthday celebration. Swift Dancy was stunned. "Didn't expect you to still be entangled in this matter. Elder Ding did ask a good question. Why did he appear in the women's bathhouse at our peak?" Before Swift Dancy could finish speaking, Solarius Ding interrupted. "I clearly saw a suspicious man. For the safety of the sect, I followed him. However, as soon as I arrived, I was collectively attacked by you all." Upon hearing this, Swift Dancy immediately became furious. This old man actually resorted to being shameless. He was about to continue arguing with him. Then I heard the Heavenly Awakening Peak Lord Master on stage saying, "Junior Sister Swift Dance, what you did this time was indeed too much. You must sincerely apologize." The Lord Master from the crowning Baldness Celestial Court Peak also chimed in and proposed a solution. "In my opinion, Immortal Jade Peak should first hand over that man. In addition, pay a fine of 500 silver and provide 10 loads of top-grade medicinal herbs to settle this matter." Swift Dance immediately refused upon hearing this. Due to being marginalized by the sect for many years, Immortal Jade is currently penniless. Where can there still be any medicinal herbs? Jade Twilight, the true immortal, who had been silent all along, suddenly changed his expression. He stared at Swift Dancy and said, "It looks like Immortal Jade Peak wants to split from the sacred land of immortal destiny." Swift Dancy reluctantly lowered his head and said softly, "I dare not." Solarius Ding took the opportunity to extend his own claws and placed them on Swift Dancy's shoulders. "That's right. But if you really can't come up with it, I can help you plead for mercy, as long as you are willing to accompany me." However, the conversation is not over yet. Ethan Yi just went straight for a kick. Solarius Ding's head was buzzing directly. "How about playing with your grandfather's leg?" Next, he directly sat on Solarius Ding's body, facing his old face. "Just a fist massage. If you have no shame, I will help you fix it." After a long time, Solarius Ding changed to a face that even his own mother couldn't recognize. In the end, Ethan Yi, still feeling unresolved, directly stomped on his crotch. Ethan Yi looked coldly. "The so-called gentleman on the stage. I heard you were looking for me. Here I am. May I ask what instructions you have?" A woman has been harassed by fellow Sect members for many years, but she has not dared to resist. The reason is that she has been a widow for many years and has a son. She is constantly ostracized within the sect. Solarius Ding, who had just recovered, pointed at Ethan Yi with a head full of bruises. "This kid is the man of all you, Lord Master Immortal Jade Peak." Ethan Yi's mother behind him is particularly worried. She feels that this time Ethan Yi has been a bit reckless in his actions. Now she is afraid that it will be difficult to resolve peacefully. Jade Twilight, the true immortal, was overjoyed at this sight. It turns out that Junior Sister really did secretly keep a man. Don't blame yourself for being heartless. Just as the words fell, the Jade Twilight disciple outside the door rushed into the council chamber. Ethan Yi remained calm. "How dare you be arrogant in front of me?" Ethan Yi stomped the ground with one foot, and his vital energy surged through his body. "Back off." A few little Gagas who came in were thrown out just as they came in. Even Ethan Yi's mother was dazzled by the way he was acting. Heavenly Awakening Peak Lord Master couldn't care less. The wrinkles on his forehead are showing. Oh my, reaching the spirit transformation stage at such a young age. With a click, Jade Twilight, the true immortal, directly crushed the armrest. He leaped up in an instant, condensing a purple energy wave between his palms. Even if you are a genius, do not think about causing trouble within Jade Twilight Peak. Swift Dancy saw that the Sect Master was truly angry. Hurriedly begged for mercy. Even though his son is strong, the Sect Master is at the actual void refinement middle stage cultivation level. In the turning of a thought, Jade Twilight, the true immortal's tiger roar fist, had already appeared in front of Ethan Yi. There seemed to be no way to avoid it. At this critical moment, Ethan Yi calmly took out the jade pendant from his bosom, turning Jade Twilight, the true immortal, into a wooden statue, standing motionless in place. Jade Twilight, the true immortal, looked at the familiar Grandmaster token before him. He found it simply unbelievable. Ethan Yi immediately turned around without looking back. He slapped Jade Twilight, the true immortal, on the face. "Do you think you should or should not be punished for disrespecting a Supreme Elder?" The other two Peak Lord Masters behind him immediately spoke up, like grass on the wall. What Supreme Elder said is correct. He should indeed be punished. In the midst of the conversation, a trace of soul awareness from the second disciple, third generation Busta Sect Master appeared in front of Ethan Yi. "You all are quite arrogant one by one." The three of them saw the situation was not right. They immediately knelt down on the ground, raised their bottoms, and knocked their heads in unison, paying respect to the Grandmaster. The Busta Sect leader floated in midair, with a frightening vital energy fluctuation emanating from all over her body. "I hereby declare that from now on, the Supreme Elder will be known as the Supervisor Elder." She then drifted behind Jade Twilight, the true immortal, and said, "Especially you. If you dare to have any ulterior motives, I will take you away directly." At this time, Ethan Yi on the side was picking his nose and said, "I live on Immortal Jade Peak, but it seems like I have violated the rules. Looks like I will have to live on Jade Twilight Peak in the future." Ethan Yi continued, saying, I wonder how the true immortal feels about it. This statement immediately made Jade Twilight, the true immortal, burst into tears on the spot, repeatedly saying, Master Patriarch Uncle, it's all a misunderstanding. Scared Land of Immortal Destiny has been your backyard ever since. Solarius Ding on the side was sneaking away at this moment. However, he had just reached the doorway when Ethan Ye's voice suddenly sounded. Elder Ding, where are you planning to go? Solarius Ding immediately broke out in a cold sweat. Supreme Elder calmed down. It was a mistake by the junior, who lacked insight, and got their hands dirty. Upon hearing this, Ethan Ye relaxed. Don't worry, I have always been easygoing. Come, let me help you with a patch. However, the next second, he threw a right hook that landed on Solarius Ding's completely disfigured face. If you dare to have any ideas about Immortal Jade Peak again in the future, be prepared to suffer the consequences. At this time, the system sent a notification. Congratulations to the host for completing the hidden task. Receive reward Supreme Grade Mystic Sword Snow Serenade. Ethan Ye scratched his head in confusion. Is this okay? It seems I'll have to wander around more in the future. Then they returned to the inside of the Immortal Jade Peak Hall with his mother. Swift Dancy then inquired about the Grandmaster's token. Ethan Ye chuckled and didn't go into details. Swift Dancy let out a long sigh. You've worked hard during this time. Everything will be fine when the second disciple elder senior sister comes out of seclusion, and the second disciple second senior sister returns from the mystic realm. As soon as the words fell, Lindsay Yu appeared in the great hall. She spoke with her heaving chest. Master, the disciples we sent to the mystic realm were ambushed. We suffered heavy losses. Swift Dancy was suddenly struck as if by lightning, and hurriedly inquired about the whereabouts of disciple Snowfall. Lindsay Yu couldn't help but shed tears of sadness. Senior sister stayed behind alone to block the enemy. Now, life and death are unknown. The young boy was taken care of by 7 stunning senior sisters, since he was young. Thought he could rightfully become his own harem. But today, he was outrun by thieves. After Ethan Ye and his mother returned to Immortal Jade Peak, the second disciple, for senior sister Lindsay Yu, informed them that the second senior sister Snowfall was ambushed on her way back to the sect. Swift Dancy incredulously asked if Snowfall stayed behind alone to cover the retreat. Lindsay Yu nodded with a choked voice. The second disciple, third senior sister, has just set off to provide support. She immediately pointed out the location where senior sister was ambushed. It is exactly 80 miles away from the sect at Maple Fall Mountain. As soon as the words fell, Ethan Ye rushed out of the main hall in a hurry, shouting for me to go and help first. Swift Dancy is trying hard to calm himself down. It seems that the other party already knows our route. Obviously, this is a premeditated ambush. Lindsay, come with me to report to the sect master first. On the other side, Maple Fall Mountain is engaged in a fierce chase. Myrhan and his dragging. The second disciple's second senior sister, who is in a coma, is flying rapidly in the air. However, having an extra drag clearly slows them down compared to the opponent. In the blink of an eye, the black-clothed person behind caught up. Young lady, don't run away. Stay and play with your big brother. At this critical moment, a mud wall soared up between the two of them. Myrhan and was overjoyed that little Ease had arrived. Ethan Ye's fingers moved deftly, as he summoned the ancient chaos martial technique Earth Attack with a cold expression. The second disciple third senior sister, you take the second disciple's second senior sister and leave first. Myrhan and did not hesitate and flew towards the scared land of immortal destiny with the second disciple's second senior sister. Before leaving, she reminded little Ease to be extra careful, as the enemy possesses a strange poison. In the midst of being dazed and confused, Snowfall still remembered to remind them to retrieve the treasures in the mystic realm. Just as Myrhan and was about to persuade them, crucial moments unfolded. Ethan Ye behind them responded, Senior sister, rest assured. The things they took away, I will definitely take back with interest. At the same time, a group of black-clothed people finally broke through. The ancient chaos martial technique appeared in front of Ethan Yi. The leading big man spoke confidently. Trying to rescue someone on your own. Do you think you are the reincarnation of immortal Lu from 500 years ago? Ethan Yi keeps using his skills to absorb the surrounding spiritual energy of the world. You disciples of the scared land of immortal destiny dare to act against him. I wonder if you are brave or just lack brains. Upon hearing this, several people laughed brightly. I am here to fight the elite. The shouts of several people actually confirmed Ethan Yi's speculation. It was indeed a premeditated ambush. I wonder which organization is behind this. Should they target the scared land of immortal destiny? So, whether to take back the stolen treasures, or to let them lead the way, is the question. As he was contemplating, a few little gagas flew over on their swords. The weapon glowing green is clearly coated with deadly poison. Kid, no matter what kind of expert you are, once you come into contact with our unique and deadly ghost's dread poison, you're dead. Even if a great Luo golden immortal comes, it won't be of any use. In an instant, Ethan Yi summoned the system reward Snow Serenade to test the power of this weapon against you. Ethan Yi casually wielded his vital energy to strike with a sword, originally just intending to test its power. However, with a careless move, he completely wiped out the dark-clothed person. Only a few fish that got away were left, watching as the edge of the sword aura came towards them. The big man narrowly avoided it, but his overheard hair was not so lucky. It directly turned into crowning baldness. Seeing this scene, Ethan Yi was also shocked. No wonder it's a supreme-grade weapon. It even has the effect of doubling vital energy. It can even forcibly elevate my attacks to the spirit transformation perfected stage. With a loud cry from the hands, he quickly flew backwards on his sword. Ethan Yi saw that the fish was already on the hook. He revealed his neat 8 front teeth. I am curious to see who dares to be so bold. He woke up in the middle of the night to find himself transformed into a 3-year-old child. Besides, there was also a busted sister by his side. And there are also 7 stunning senior sisters who shower him with special affection. They take care of him daily and keep him by their side. Just as Ethan Yi killed the little gagas who were ambushing him with a single sword strike, he intentionally left one survivor. He immediately followed the big man all the way to their hideout. Just 50 miles from Maple Fall Mountain, 3 people were flying on their swords, eagerly looking ahead. One of them said, "Elder is wise. The sneak attack was truly remarkable. He is worthy of being the strategy master of our sect." The bald leader lightly stroked his sparse goatee. It was just a small trick. As they were praising each other, a big man shouted as he flew towards them. "Didn't I ask you to catch that escaped female disciple?" The big man said in a grievance. "I was about to succeed. Who knew that Chung Yao Jin would appear out of nowhere on the way, possessing the cultivation level of spirit transformation perfected stage at such a young age?" The originally calm, fearless elder was struck as if by lightning. Could it be that one of the Lord Masters from the scared land of immortal destiny has arrived? The big man replied repeatedly, "Just a young kid. At most, he is only 18 or 19 years old." Before he could finish speaking, he was directly slapped away. "Do you really think we are a group of fools to believe in a teenager at the spirit transformation stage?" The big man felt even more wronged. Why can't anyone understand their own pain? He even vowed that if he lied, his little chicken would be limp for life. Before the words fell, the weather, which was just sunny moments ago, suddenly darkened as if a thunderbolt had struck. It flashed directly behind the big man, shocking everyone as if hit by lightning. Is retribution coming this quickly? Damn, you still say you didn't lie? Even God can't tolerate your nonsense. Just as the several people were arguing endlessly, another disciple timidly pointed towards the sky. Just saw Ethan Yi descending from the sky. With vital energy surging around him, thunder and lightning swirling, it turned out to be the thunder technique from the ancient chaos martial technique. Fearless Elder's expression immediately turned solemn. He actually can trigger celestial phenomenon. Who exactly is this young man? The big man was both scared and excited. Elder, do you believe me now? But how did he know about this place? Fearless Elder turned around and slapped him. Isn't it because you personally brought the person here that the dog barked? Everyone, hurry up and set up the formation and wait for my signal. I will go and probe his true intentions first. He then raised his sword and flew up high, loudly inquiring. I am Fearless, using the Dharma name Snow Eagle Sect Administrator Elder. May I ask why you are blocking our way? Ethan Ye's face turned cold as he uttered 4 words. Enforcing justice on behalf of heaven. Such grandeur in your words. Do you know that once you pass Triple River, it will fall under the jurisdiction of my sect? Do you really think that you alone and your sword can defy the heavens? As soon as the words fell, Ethan Ye lifted his hand and struck with his sword. The sharp blade did not strike like Fearless had expected. In an instant, the mountains and rivers beneath everyone's feet were torn open. There are no more people. I, Ethan Ye, alone with a sword, can cut through rivers and mountains. Today I am here. What can you do to me? Fearless Elder is not just talk. If negotiations fail, don't blame me for being ruthless. Immortal Binding Formation activated, but after waiting for a long time, there was still silence below. Ethan Ye looked frivolous, with his hands crossed in front of his chest. Fearless Elder, why not take a look at the situation behind you? He only saw the crowd that was just lively and active moments ago. At this moment, they dropped vertically to the ground like roasted squabs. Fearless Elder suddenly saw through it all. Your true target has always been those behind me. Suddenly, a green handle panic-eating reached out and stabbed directly into Fearless' arm. Fearless Elder suddenly felt something was wrong. Melon boy, what mischief are you up to again? Ethan Ye explained calmly. This is something I snatched from your disciple. You should know more about the strange poison on it than I do. Fearless scolded Ethan Ye for being dishonorable while taking out the antidote from his chest pocket, all the while bullying the elderly. However, before he could take it, Ethan Ye swiftly moved and landed a punch on his chest with a loud thud. Immediately, he took the antidote and expressed his gratitude. Thank you for Elder's antidote. Fearless Elder was immediately infuriated to the point of bleeding from all 7 orifices. Are there 10,086 eyes on the current young person? He woke up in the middle of the night to find himself turned into a child. A busted sister was lying beside him. And there are 7 stunning senior sisters beside him, who dote on him exceptionally, and take turns to accompany him to sleep every night. Just as Ethan Ye successfully tricked out the antidote, feeling smug, Fearless Elder unexpectedly took out another backup antidote from his bosom and popped it into his mouth. How can one not be more cautious when wandering the martial world? But the kid acting like a creep is doomed to not go far. Strength is the key. Ethan Ye said somewhat confusedly. No wonder you're such an old scoundrel. I bet you've fallen victim to telecommunications fraud many times before. Fearless became furious after being called an old scoundrel. He summoned his long sword and charged towards Ethan Ye. If you're a real man, come and fight me with your dagger. Ethan Ye showed no fear as he raised Snow's grenade and charged towards the old scoundrel. With a loud bang, the attacks of the two collided. 2 rays of vital energy, one yellow and one blue, burst out in dazzling light. Fearless cackled weirdly. You've fallen into my trap, kid. My cultivation level at the void refinement stage is not something you can contend with. Are you out of your mind to challenge me in sword aura? Now you only have 30% of your power left, while I still have 50%. You are in a difficult situation now, and continuing will only lead to exhaustion. Once I unleash my sword aura, I will tear you apart immediately. On the other side, Ethan Ye's expression has become extremely fierce. Is this the limit of the spirit transformation stage? With this in mind, Ethan Ye took a deep breath. Since one source of vital energy wasn't enough, he would use 2. After all, the ancient chaos martial technique is said to be a perpetual motion machine. Fearless Elder couldn't hold back upon seeing this scene and weakly asked the boy, Are you cheating? Ethan Ye wasted no words and directly charged forward like a forceful breakthrough. At this moment, he appeared like a war god. The buff from Snow's grenade combined with the thunder technique from the ancient chaos martial technique was only momentary. It blasted Fearless Elder down to just his underwear. Fearless Elder is also adaptable. Seeing the unfavorable situation, he immediately knelt down and begged for mercy. The treasures of the scared land of immortal destiny are all here. Please spare this little brother. Ethan Yi glanced at the storage space in his hand and spoke lightly. After all the hard work, is it satisfying to only get back what originally belonged to you? Fearless Elder suppressed his trembling body and agreed. No, definitely not. He then took out from his pants pocket a spiritual pearl he had treasured for many years. This is the water avoidance pearl, which has the effect of controlling water and dispelling waves. I hope the hero will accept it with a smile. Ethan Yi showed a satisfied smile and said, Indeed, older folks sure know how to handle things. Bringing a word of courage back to your leader. Be careful if you plan to attack the scared land of immortal destiny. Watch out for your Sect's gate. Fearless Elder nodded continuously like a little chicken pecking at rice. Ethan Yi transformed into a stream of light and flew towards Immortal Jade Peak. Fearless didn't dare say a word, afraid of making a mistake and getting scolded again. The second senior sister has been in a coma after being poisoned in Immortal Jade Peak. Swift Dance Yi anxiously inquired about the situation of Snowfall Lindsay Yu. Lindsay Yu, with tears in her eyes, truthfully replied. Lindsay Yu said that the poison is called Ghost's Dread, and although she is well versed in medical skills, she is unable to create an antidote. The second disciple's second senior sister might not make it through tonight. As soon as these words were spoken, Myrahan and couldn't contain herself and was about to rush to the Snow Eagle Sect to fight to the death. But she ran into a sturdy figure as soon as she stepped out. Ethan Yi did not expect it. He was knocked down directly by this collision. Looking at the stunning senior sister in his arms, Ethan Yi's old face blushed instantly. But he immediately sorted out his emotions. He took out the antidote from his arms. Myrahan and was delighted. Little Ease, you actually managed to snatch the antidote from their hands. Ethan Yi continued to smile and said, It's more than just the antidote. I have retrieved all the treasures that were stolen from us. Myrahan and couldn't contain the excitement in her heart and immediately plunged into Ethan Yi's arms. Little Ease, you are amazing. The senior sisters did not spoil you in vain. Ethan Yi was delighted by the chest weapon in his arms. The second disciple, third senior sister, calmed down a bit. The little brother's body can't handle it. Inside the Snow Eagle Sect on the other side, the angry curses echoed throughout the entire valley. Fearless Elder is heading nervously towards. The person above the main hall is reporting today's encounter. The Sect Master of Snow Eagle Sect on the stage had a very gloomy expression at this time. The bastard only mentioned the route of the Immortal Destiny disciple, without informing about the existence of this person. The losses this time are so heavy. He must give me an explanation. He used to be the precious little boy in the palms of the 7 senior sisters, Ethan Yi. Now he has become the purebred creep Vic-taker Yi, who frightens people at the mere mention. Swiftly after Snowfall took the antidote brought back by Ethan Yi, Swift Dance Yi finally breathed a sigh of relief. Swift Dance, he said, We owe a lot to you this time, Ease. Otherwise, the losses would have been severe. Ethan Yi chuckled. Actually, I admire senior sister more for single-handedly stopping so many people from the Snow Eagle Sect with just one sword. Snowfall's swordsmanship has always been outstanding in the sect. Otherwise, the Sect Master wouldn't have let him lead the team. At the mention of Sect Master Myrahan An's temper, Snowfall immediately gets excited. He's furious. The fact that such a big thing happened and not even a word was said. And they will definitely come shamelessly to claim their share later. After all, Ethan Yi lacks experience in the world. He doesn't think they would be so shameless. However, before the words are finished, the voice of Sect Master arriving is heard from outside the door. Ethan Yi was speechless for a while. It's really like speaking of the devil. Jade Twilight, the true immortal, pushed open the door with a fierce momentum. Excitedly he said, "Master Patriarch Uncle, you completely wiped out the Snow Eagle sect. It's so satisfying." Disciple heard that the army was ambushed and has been urgently deploying troops. "Just didn't expect you made the first move. Ethan knows well that this old fox is cunning and deceitful." Ambiguously he said, "You are quite well informed about this news." "It was just a small effort on my part. The second disciple Snowfall Murong of Immortal Jade Peak contributed a lot. As the sect master, you shouldn't let the meritorious feel disappointed." Jade Twilight, the true immortal's face twisted at the words. The disciple came hastily without any preparation. "In the future, I will make sure to send someone to bring the top-grade supplements." Suddenly, Ethan Ye's eyes lit up. "No need to wait for the future. I think the jade pendant around your waist is pretty good." Upon hearing this, Myrahan and immediately saw the light. "Master Patriarch Uncle, you are uninformed. This jade pendant is a treasure carefully curated by Sect Master. It has the miraculous effects of dispelling toxins, countering miasma, and gathering energy to aid in cultivation. If the Sect Master can bear the pain of parting with it, it will further demonstrate admiration and encouragement for those who bravely fight the enemy." Myrahan's actions even impressed Ethan Yi, who couldn't help but give a thumbs up. Soon, Ethan Yi looked towards Jade Twilight, the true immortal. "It seems you are right." Jade Twilight, the true immortal, repeatedly waved his hand, indicating that he disagreed with Master Patriarch Uncle's decision. He quickly took the jade pendant from his waist and bowed, handing it to Swift Dance Yi, instructing junior sister to pass this 7-pointed jade pendant to Snowfall Murong. Ethan Yi saw that the task was completed and naturally prepared to withdraw. Jade Twilight, the true immortal, quickly stopped him and said, "Master Patriarch Uncle, please wait. Disciple has urgent matters to discuss with you." Then, with a flattering smile and rubbing his hands, he got to the main point of this visit. "Master Patriarch Uncle, during this visit to the mystic realm, Disciple has collected many rare treasures and exotic herbs from various peaks. I hope you can return them to us." The three people present all looked at him in unison for a moment. This old bastard did come for the things of the mystic realm after all. Ethan Yi immediately used a deceptive tactic of stealing beams and replacing them with pillars. "Haven't those things all been taken away by the people from the Snow Eagle sect? What are you asking me for?" Jade Twilight, the true immortal, quickly added, "Indeed, they were taken away. But I heard that you managed to snatch them back later, didn't you?" Ethan Yi then put on a look of sudden realization. "This thing was snatched from me by the Snow Eagle sect. Your belongings are still with them. If you don't believe me, go ask them." Jade Twilight, the true immortal, couldn't hold back on the spot. After a moment, inside Jade Twilight, the true immortal's bedroom, came the heart-wrenching sound of furious shouting. Jade Twilight slashed dozens of wooden stakes, but still couldn't dispel the resentment in her heart. This time, she truly lost both the lady and the soldiers. Solarius Ding behind her was sweating profusely from the Sect Master's imposing presence. "Sect Master, I feel that the origin of this Master Patriarch Uncle is unclear. Moreover, he obviously has close ties to Immortal Jade Peak. If we don't deal with it promptly, it might affect your position in the future. What do you think?" Solarius Ding doesn't seem to object to Sect Master's statement. Then he continued, "Since he suddenly appeared, let's make him suddenly disappear. As long as you make the decision, Disciple will take care of it within 3 days." Jade Twilight, the true immortal, was also driven crazy by anger. "Feel free to boldly make your move. You will not be left out of the benefits once things are done." And at this moment, Ethan Yi obviously had no idea about their plan. Now in the sect, no one is causing trouble for oneself. Life has indeed lost a lot of fun. Just at this moment, a new check-in task has been set by the system. Go to Fallen Long Pool at Heavenly Awakening Peak to complete the check-in. Ethan Yi instantly became energized. The young girl spends 25 hours in the water every day. It's because she is poisoned with a strange toxin. If she is not careful, she will feel a burning desire. Only this bone-chilling Fallen Long waters can help alleviate her inner heat. And today, her most beloved little junior brother, has discovered this secret. It turns out that it was right after Ethan Yi received a new check-in task. That evening, he took Azure Robe with him to the location of the task, Fallen Long Pool, feeling the softness of Azure Robe behind him. Ethan Yi was delighted in an instant. It feels great to be trusted by others, and have a girl cling to you like this. Suddenly, Ethan Yi noticed a hint of something unusual in the air. He quickly flew towards the forest below, without paying any attention to the life and death of Azure Robe behind him. At the same time, there is a red-haired youth ahead. He is looking towards Ethan Yi's previous position. It's strange. He clearly saw someone passing by in the sky just now. Could it be that he has been exercising too much lately, causing hallucinations? He immediately stopped thinking and leapt in the air. Ethan Yi breathed a sigh of relief as he watched the three people gradually move away. It's a good thing they weren't discovered. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been the thrill of sneaking around. After a while, Ethan Yi and the other person appeared next to Fallen Long Pool. They looked at the rushing waterfall and the peaceful surroundings. Ethan Yi muttered to himself, "There shouldn't be anyone appearing nearby now. But why hasn't the task completion been displayed? Could it be that I have to dive in to complete the check-in?" At this moment, Azure Robe beside me pointed not far away and asked, "Master, are you looking for this thing?" Looking in the direction pointed by Azure Robe, Ethan Yi could not help but be surprised. Whose neatly arranged clothes are these? He immediately grabbed Azure Robe's hand and tried to hide, so as not to be mistaken for a pervert. But no matter how he explained, it was hard to clarify. However, the next second, a woman suddenly stood up in the water. She shouted at the two of them, "Who are you people?" When Ethan Yi finally saw the woman's face clearly, his face turned red all of a sudden. "Second senior sister, how come you are here?" This person is none other than Ethan Yi's senior sister Snowfall Murong. Wearing cool attire, she also looked puzzled. "Little Ease? Senior sister, is your body better? Why didn't you rest well in the middle of the night, and came here to take a bath? Is the grand bath at Immortal Jade Peak not satisfying you anymore?" Snowfall quickly tidied up her clothes. She explained that her original poison was no longer a problem, but she was now afflicted with the unique blazing inferno palm poison from the Snow Eagle Sect. Only the extreme cold water from the Fallen Long Pool can heal this injury. Speaking of which, in the middle of the night, why are you here? Ethan Yi was looking at you hesitantly, unable to come up with a reason. Snowfall looked confident and asked from a distance, "Is Ethan Yi following us? Do you want to peep at senior sister taking a bath?" Ethan Yi, who had just come of age, had never seen such a scene before. He immediately panicked and took 2 steps back. Helplessly, he fabricated a reason out of thin air, saying that he was here to search for treasures. "I heard Sect Master mention that there is a secret treasure of our sect hidden at the bottom of Fallen Long Pool. So I thought I'd try my luck." Snowfall's eyes widened slightly, with a look of disbelief on her face. However, she still said that Fallen Long Pool is bottomless, and with her own abilities, she can only dive about 3 meters deep. She then took Ethan Yi's arm and followed senior sister back. "Let's go play somewhere else. This is not a place for you to mess around." While the two were pulling each other, the voice of the patrolling disciple came from the jungle. However, when they appeared by the pool, there was no one in sight. "It's so strange tonight. Could it be something dirty? I've had 2 hallucinations already." 2 people looked into the water. The deep, bottomless pool water, together with the darkening sky, made it impossible to see anything. And the 3 people underwater instinctively dived deeper and deeper, fearing being discovered by the others. Suddenly, a strong undercurrent swept Snowfall's legs. Immediately, a strange force pulled her toward the depths of the pool. Ethan Yi felt something was wrong. It was only at this moment that Ethan Yi discovered the anomaly. Oh no, in order to avoid the patrol of the 2 people, the diving depth has already exceeded 3 meters. The young woman spends 25 hours in the water every day, simply because he was poisoned by a unique toxin. he would be consumed by an uncontrollable desire if he was not careful. But today she was caught in the act by her most beloved junior brother, and he took advantage of the situation to steal her first kiss. Just now, it turned out that Ethan Yi and the other three were dragged into the pond by a strange force. The second senior sister was about to give in soon. Ethan Yi quickly rushed towards senior sister. After a while, the three of them finally stabilized their bodies in the turbulent dark currents. However, the next second, they were shocked beyond measure by the scene in front of their eyes. A huge creature suddenly appeared in front of the crowd. The previous commotion was evidently caused by the spirit beast in front of him. Ethan Yi is extremely nervous. His combat effectiveness underwater is greatly reduced. After a fierce battle, the second senior sister fell into a coma. Ethan Yi and the other two were also bound up. The situation became very dangerous. Although Azure Robe is unaffected underwater, she is currently completely powerless in battle. Just then, Ethan Yi remembered the water avoidance pearl and, with a try-it-out attitude, embedded it into the interface previously reserved by Azure Robe. As the water avoidance pearl emitted a dazzling light, the Azure Robe burst out with a terrifying power all over the body. Obviously, it has been reborn. But because of the overwhelming power it exuded, the abnormality it caused was also discovered by the patrolling disciple. So, they hurried back to the Sect to report to the Sect Master. And the few people underwater were about to be swallowed by the giant jellyfish. Azure Robe directly took action, using his hand as a blade to cut off the jellyfish's tentacles. Ethan Yi was overjoyed at the sight. It is indeed effective. At this moment, Azure Robe has gained the ability to control water. As the war god descended in Azure Robe, a fierce and mighty display followed. The tentacles of the jellyfish were all cut off one by one. Indeed, why does this jellyfish even sweat in the water? Truly an advanced being. However, with the reversal of the situation, this jellyfish unsurprisingly died at the hands of Azure Robe. It was directly dismembered into 8 pieces. At this moment, Ethan Yi looked at the second senior sister who was faint in his arms, and after a moment of hesitation he resolutely started to perform artificial respiration for senior sister. As the saying goes, "If I don't go to hell, who will?" This kind of tiring work, he could do it himself. But the mouth has not been heated yet. The Azure Robe next to him turned into a demon. It directly used its water control ability under the water to isolate a space. But Ethan Yi seemed to have remembered something dreadful, his face darkening instantly. Isn't this pool of water deep and bottomless? Then followed by 2 screams. As the 3 people fell freely, they all fell into the bottom of the pool. The worst thing was that the Azure Robe happened to land right on Ethan Yi's sweetheart. Almost gave Ethan Yi a fright right there. Azure Robe hurriedly apologized. But Ethan Yi was as stubborn as a cooked duck, insisting not to worry, your owner is tough. It's just a minor issue. However, the next second, Ethan Yi was attracted by the scenery in front of him. A bottomless black hole suddenly appeared in front of him. Could it be that there really are treasures below? The creep took advantage of the woman being unconscious. He actually did such a despicable thing to senior sister. He is simply not human. He actually didn't invite everyone watching the video to this good thing. It turns out that just now, the second senior sister fainted in the pool because she was not good at swimming. Fortunately, Azure Robe has the ability to control water. She successfully created a space at the bottom of the water. However, at this moment, Ethan Yi discovered that there was a man-made cave at the bottom of the pond. Just as he was wondering, voices from above could be heard. Ethan Yi immediately had Azure Robe restore the pond water to its original state. After a meal operation by Azure Robe, the pond water quickly returned to calm. Lord Master of Heavenly Awakening Peak knew well that abnormal incidents must have demonic causes. Therefore, he ordered his disciple to guard the bank closely. Once something emerged from the water, they were to take it down immediately. At the same time, Ethan Yi and others also followed the cave entrance towards the depths. Only a basketball-sized night pearl could be seen, placed conspicuously in the center of the cave. Just as he was pondering what this place was. System prompt: Congratulations on discovering the sword tomb. Receive reward: 10,000 swords uniting technique. At this moment, the second senior sister in his arms also opened her misty eyes. She also looked puzzled, staring at the unfamiliar surroundings. Ethan Yi could feel his cheeks flushing at this moment. However, his eyes occasionally stole glances at the second senior sister's proud figure. The senior sister, who was drenched, exuded even more charm. However, happiness is always short-lived. The next second, the second senior sister broke free from Ethan Ye's embrace and sprinted forward. Immediately, countless swords, shining brightly, appeared inside the cave. The scene was extremely spectacular. Everyone present appeared so insignificant in comparison. Snowfall explained that it was once heard that in a certain place, in the sacred land of immortal destiny, there lies the grave mound of their sect's founding ancestors. Their cultivation level was extraordinary, where each person could command the wind and clouds with just one sword. They buried themselves in a hidden place because they felt that the disciples of later generations were talentless and incapable of inheriting their abilities. It is unknown whether after all these years, someone will be able to bear the abilities of their predecessors. However, as soon as she finished speaking, the sword in front of her resonated with a loud noise. At that moment, Snowfall was confused. The next second, all the swords rushed out in unison. The speed was so fast that it caught everyone off guard. Fortunately, Ethan Yi had already noticed the anomaly. He appeared in front of the two instantly, wielding a long sword with a strong and imposing stance. Next, a dense sound of metal collisions came from inside the cave. Ethan Yi chanted a spell to fend off the attacks of numerous long swords. Snowfall, with injuries on her body, struggled to fend off the attacks. Soon, she found herself in danger. Ethan Yi saw the situation was not good. They couldn't continue like this. Otherwise, the outlook seemed grim. He immediately displayed the newly acquired 10,000 swords uniting technique, and a regal presence erupted from within him. In an instant, all the long swords stopped abruptly and hovered in the air. Ethan Yi said this was just a small effort. Seniors, I will accept your enchanted artifacts. Then, to the surprised gazes of Snowfall and the others, all the enchanted artifacts were absorbed into Ethan Yi's body. Not long ago, this woman just treated Ethan Yi as a little brother. But now she is deeply trapped in his embrace, and cannot let go for a long time. It turns out that just now, Ethan Yi's 10,000 swords uniting technique deeply shocked Snowfall's heart. Even more so, he even collected all the swords of hundreds of seniors and put them all in his bag. Although he himself could not let go for a long time, his original intention was just to suppress the rebellious swords. Snowfall, on the other hand, looked pleasantly surprised. It seemed that his little junior brother had earned the recognition of his seniors. Upon hearing these words, Ethan Yi's playful expression from the past changed to a solemn one. He clasped his hands together in gratitude for the senior's kindness. The next second, a sudden change occurred. Countless ghostly lights appeared out of thin air in the sky. Obviously, this was also the ancestors' response to Ethan Yi. However, at this moment, the second senior sister was trembling in fear, hoping that Ethan Yi could take her away from this haunted place soon. It turns out that even the fearless senior sister is afraid of something. Ethan Yi also knew well that it was not suitable to stay here for long. Therefore, he immediately prepared to leave this place with azure robe. However, in order to prevent being ambushed by the creep outside, they knew that they couldn't go back the way they came. So, they headed further into the depths of the cave. However, after a moment, they reached the end of the cave. They looked ahead and saw that there was no way forward. They could only climb up along the wall. Sure enough, as expected, there is indeed a secret passageway here. They looked at the creep standing by the lake as if everything was natural. Senior sister also urged to leave this place of trouble as soon as possible. Ethan Yi also lent his sword to senior sister to fly away, and he followed closely behind azure robe. At the same time, in another hidden place, countless figures appeared in the sacred land of immortal destiny. Indeed, a group of creeps from the Snow Eagle Sect are plotting a conspiracy against the immortal Jade Peak. Just as everything was planned and ready to set off, one of them noticed something unusual. Looking in the direction he pointed, it was indeed the second senior sister Snowfall, who was about to leave. At this moment, senior sister is full of thoughts. Ethan Yi thought that if Azure Robe did not exist, this should be the moment for the two to be affectionate. She paid no attention to the people under her, and in less than a second, she was hit directly as if a bird, obviously caught off guard. Ethan Yi in the distance saw this scene, and was even more anxious. Snowfall, who was already injured, was now lying on the ground in extreme pain, watching as Creep walked towards himself, but also helpless. She only felt extremely shocked in her heart. They actually appeared here. Then she was furious. How dare you, Snow Eagle Sect, actually infiltrate the scared land of immortal destiny? Do you not know the word death? Fearless also counterattacked powerfully. What nonsense, scared land of immortal destiny. Today will be the day of your destruction, immortal Jade Peak. However, he looked at the sword that his subordinate had brought, and he was puzzled by the fact that it was surrendered without resistance. In terms of appearance, it does indeed belong to the supreme grade category, but why does he feel a sense of inexplicable familiarity in his heart? Just as he was puzzled, a voice appeared behind him. Instantly, it sent shivers down his spine. Surprisingly, it was none other than Creep ancestor Ethan Yi. This man not only captivated the second senior sister, who used to be cold and aloof, with his cherry lips. Now he is even more unscrupulous. He doesn't plan to spare even men. Just now, Ethan Yi crept up quietly and arrived behind Fearless. He immediately scared the living daylights out of him. His little brother just shriveled up on the spot. Ethan Yi also had a puzzled look on his face. Ethan Yi never expected it to be him. Could it be that he didn't count out enough last time? I didn't even give him lucky money. Hearing this, the little Gagas behind Fearless began to whisper to each other. So it turns out their leader has done such a thing before. Ethan Yi also did not want to be entangled with them too much. He directly reached out his hand to ask for his own sword and the second senior sister Snowfall. Fearless is also someone who only remembers favors and not grudges. Relying on having more people on their side, and Ethan Yi being unarmed at the moment, they immediately became arrogant and overbearing. He directly ordered the disciple to arrange it. The life-threatening formation, the 7-star immortal extermination formation, surrounded Ethan Yi in the middle. Snowfall couldn't contain her worries on the spot. She felt like the sky was about to fall. How could they treat a child like this? Fearless went crazy on the spot. A child? Who cares about the child? This brat is completely useless. I wish I could cut him into pieces. Ethan Yi, standing in the center of the formation at this moment, was extremely calm. The name sounds intimidating. I just wonder how powerful he really is. Today is the day you die. Under this formation, you have no chance of survival at all. Ethan Yi feels as uncomfortable as if he had eaten shit. What kind of grudges and resentments make you hate me so much? Fearless said nothing more and directly ordered an attack. He wanted to kill Ethan Yi on the spot. Little Gagas also directly recited the incantation. Instantly, beams of light radiated from all directions. Countless flashes of sword and blade appeared around Ethan Yi. Ethan Yi stood still as if petrified. Fearless only felt that he had been scared silly. Therefore, he became even more arrogant and unhurried. Today, he would slowly torture you to death. The figure hiding in the dark at this moment also revealed its true colors. It turned out to be Solarius Ding, a sly and deceitful creep. Only to see Ethan Yi raised his right hand. His expression was calm, but his gaze was unwavering. Since you have more swords than me, I'll just use half to play with you. Then he immediately performed the 10,000 swords uniting technique. Fearless was shocked on the spot. Obviously, he did not expect this move, but he still bravely faced the attack. Solarius Ding, on the other hand, was dumbfounded. Is the outcome of the confrontation determined by the number of weapons on both sides? Is there still justice in this world? Ethan Yu was just worrying about not having a place to experiment right now. And now these people have just walked right into his trap. The smiles on their faces can hardly be contained. As the weapons of both sides clashed, the dense sound of metal collisions continued to emanate from the formation. Within a few breaths, the formation was broken one by one. Little Gagos on the scene couldn't hold back anymore. Before Ethan Yi could even feel happy, the system released a new task: to implement corporal punishment on the mastermind behind the scenes. The system is really mischievous. But I really like it. It suits my taste. Fearless immediately felt a chill in their lower body. Always felt that something was wrong. Watching Ethan Ye's unique sardonic smile, constantly emitting a strange and eerie laughter, Fearless burst into tears on the spot. Don't come over. You are simply a devil. This man not only took advantage of senior sister while she was unconscious to do such a despicable thing. Now he has become so heartless and ruthless. Even Neng can't escape his clutches. It turns out that just now, Ethan Yi single-handedly destroyed the formation of the Snow Eagle sect. Looking at the extremely imposing Ethan Yi Fearless in front of him, Fearless was also somewhat at a loss. However, Fearless did not intend to give in. He turned around and started beating up the second senior sister Snowfall. Seeing senior sister in pain, Ethan Yi was immediately filled with anger. He quickly unleashed a set of 10,000 swords uniting, instantly dealing with the remaining little Gagos. Do you think you are qualified to threaten me? At this moment, Ethan Yi is truly invincible. His wife is his bottom line. Fearless also knows that he is not a match. A real man knows when to bend and when to stretch. He immediately dropped to his knees and raised his hands. Ethan Yi was holding on to the second senior sister and refused to let go. Fearless Elder is really leisurely. They even strolled to the scared land of immortal destiny. Fearless seems to have lost his temper. It's all because of the mischief of the younger ones disturbing the hero's rest. Let's not talk about it anymore. Let me bow to you first. At this moment, Ethan Yi is thinking about the system. He wants to carry out corporal punishment on the mastermind behind the scenes, not Fearless. Could it be that there is another person behind the scenes? Fearless knelt down tremblingly on the ground. Obviously, he was scared out of his wits and spilled everything directly. It was someone surnamed Ding who brought them in. Ethan Yi appeared lost in thought. The scared land of immortal destiny, although vast, only had those few with the surname Ding. Just as the two were pondering this, Solarius Ding in the dark couldn't bear it any longer and was about to leave. This bastard has no backbone at all. Ethan Yi immediately noticed the anomaly behind him. At that moment, he shot several flying swords towards the source of the sound. Solarius Ding, caught off guard, narrowly avoided all the attacks. Snowfall looked surprised. It really is you, Solarius Ding. Fearless also chimed in from the side saying, Yes, that's him. Who would have known that this creep still insists on being stubborn, saying that he was just passing by to pee in the middle of the night. Snowfall quickly recovered from the shock. It all became clear in an instant. No wonder someone ambushed her on her way back. It turned out that you, the traitor, betrayed your fellow peers. Seeing that there was no way to avoid it, Solarius Ding took the initiative to attack. He directly activated his vital energy. Snowfall obviously did not expect that he would dare to resist. He was taken by surprise and directly attacked. Seeing the sneak attack work, Solarius Ding also did not hesitate to fight. He turned around and prepared to take advantage of the chaos to escape from this place of contention. But Ethan Yi has no intention of letting him go. He didn't say you could leave. He directly launched several flying swords towards Solarius Ding. Solarius Ding, however, is not afraid at all. Just a few flying swords, and he thinks he can keep him. That would be a disgrace. It would tarnish his title as the #1 creep in immortal destiny. However, things did not go as planned. Solarius Ding burst into tears in an instant. Just because this time he really became a eunuch. Accompanied by the attack of the sword, his little chicken successfully ascended to heaven. He felt that life had no hope. Ethan Yi, on the other hand, was extremely calm. This was Elder Ding's own doing. It had nothing to do with him. At the same time, the system also prompts that the task is completed. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the Heavenly Mystic 9 sword technique. Ethan Yi seems to be well aware of it. It looks like he is the final mastermind. At this moment, Solarius Ding only feels that the world is filled with darkness. He wishes to cut Ethan Yi into 1,000 pieces. Snowfall, however, persuades that after all, he is the Sect Master's man. It's better to let the Sect Master handle it himself. Ethan Yi also feels that makes sense. On the spot, he dragged the two to the main peak to confront the Sect Master. And at this moment, inside the Snow Eagle Sect's main hall, the Sect Master of Snow Eagle Sect had a dark expression on his face. It seems that the scared land of immortal destiny is indeed not easy to deal with. At the same time, a voice came from the opposite side. We cannot let them dominate alone anymore. A larger conspiracy is quietly brewing. This former little kid is now relying on his handsome face to deeply immerse senior sister in his gentle world. But he was completely unaware, only feeling that senior sister looked a bit strange. It turns out that just now, Ethan Yi took Solarius Ding, and the two of them to Jade Twilight Peak overnight. Jade Twilight, the true immortal, watched this scene and pretended to be angry, asking what the situation was. Solarius Ding seemed to see a life-saving straw. He immediately said, "Sect Master, this person is not some Master Patriarch uncle. He is Ethan Yi." Jade Twilight, the true immortal, stood there in shock, unable to believe what he heard. The Ethan Yi he had in mind was just a little kid who hadn't even been weaned yet. Ethan Yi did not refute either. He just calmly said, "Your disciple colluded with Snow Eagle Sect to harm fellow Sect members. How should the Sect Master handle this?" Jade Twilight, the true immortal, will definitely choose death over admitting. Upon seeing this, Ethan Yi immediately stepped on Fearless' bald head, forcing him to divulge everything he knew. Under the coercion and enticement of Ethan Yi, Fearless revealed all the ins and outs of the matter. Jade Twilight, the true immortal, looked incredulous. However, his shock was only because Solarius Ding, this waste of space, has been caught red-handed by someone else. Ethan Yi also followed up on the attack, casually tossing Fearless aside. Then he questioned what would happen now that things had come to this point. I wonder how the Sect Master plans to deal with this traitor. Jade Twilight, the true immortal, remained silent. Solarius Ding gritted his teeth and said, "If you have the guts, kill yourself otherwise." However, before he could finish speaking, he was struck and sent flying by a burst of vital energy from Jade Twilight, the true immortal. He fell to the ground unconscious, his life hanging in the balance. Jade Twilight, the true immortal, had a righteous expression on his face. Colluding with outsiders to harm fellow disciples. Even if he were torn apart by 1,000 cuts, his death would not be mourned. After completing this whole set of acting, Jade Twilight, the true immortal, said to Ethan Yi, "Thank you, Master Patriarch Uncle, for your kind guidance. I will definitely punish myself severely for my incompetence. I will personally take care of it." Upon hearing this, Ethan Yi's face darkened, but he did not react on the spot. He simply said faintly, "Then I'll leave it to you," and then turned and left with the second senior sister. Upon leaving the main hall, Snowfall finally spoke and said, "Just now, that palm strike. Sect Master was truly enraged. Solarius Ding might not have a good ending this time." Ethan Yi, however, did not think so. When his trusted aide colluded with external enemies, the first thing Ethan did was not to interrogate what secrets had been leaked, but to urgently scheme a real-life confrontation. What does this indicate? The second senior sister looked at Ethan Yi with a silly expression, indicating that the Sect Master has a bad temper. Ethan Yi lovingly brushed the tip of senior sister's nose and said, "This shows that he had known about this all along. He made a move just to put on a show for us." Snowfall couldn't hear what Ethan Yi was saying at the moment because of his sudden intimate gesture, which left her feeling confused and flustered. But it was only a moment. She quickly snapped out of this mood and her face turned red, leaving Ethan Yi beside her confused. But her admiration for Ethan Yi in her heart grew even stronger, with no way to suppress it. At the same time, within Jade Twilight Peak, true immortal Jade Twilight did indeed start treating Solarius Ding. Seeing that Solarius Ding was no longer in danger, he comforted him, saying not to blame him for using too much force. If the play is not performed well, there may be no way to resolve it today. As they spoke, they unexpectedly started playing tag with Solarius Ding. From now on, you shouldn't think about others. You will only belong to me in the future. After a round of intense intimacy, Jade Twilight the true immortal once again turned the spear towards Ethan Yi. He must get rid of Ethan Yi no matter what, otherwise he might find it hard to resolve the hatred in his heart. He then instructed Solarius Ding to pass on the message. Snow Eagle Sect Elder Fearless was killed by Ethan Yi from Immortal Jade Peak. This move of using someone to achieve one's own ends is truly heartless. The storm from Immortal Jade Peak is about to come again. The young girl teases her little junior brother every day. As a result, today the roles have been directly reversed. She has become the one being teased. Ethan Yi just now told Swift Dancy about everything that happened last night. Swift Dancy also changed from his usual kindness. This completely overturned his understanding of the sect. It's unbelievable that members of the same sect could do such disgraceful things. Based on yesterday's events, Ethan Yi speculated that Sect Master would definitely continue to target Immortal Jade Peak. We must be prepared with countermeasures at all times. Just as the two were discussing, a voice came from outside the door. Who dares to act recklessly at Immortal Jade Peak, I will definitely not spare them. I saw a beautiful woman with blue hair coming with a sword. It was none other than Seraphina Zhao, the 7th senior sister of Immortal Jade Peak. Ethan Yi quickly stood up and bowed to the 7th senior sister. Swift Dancy also revealed an ant-like smile from behind. Did Seraphina have any gains from this trip? Seraphina Zhao has been away from home for many days. Returning today has put her in a great mood. This trip was just full of gains. She was curious and began to look closely at Ethan Yi. She had heard that junior brother had grown up overnight. She thought it was a joke, but it turned out to be true. How did little Ease manage to do that? Ethan Yi nervously explained that he had taken the Dan pills given by his mother, and suddenly felt unbearable heat in his body. Then the transformation occurred. Seraphina Zhao, with a deep meaningful expression, grinned mischievously at Ethan Yi. That's truly amazing. Under the intimidating gaze of the 7th senior sister, Ethan Yi felt as if he was completely exposed, feeling extremely uneasy. He saw that he was almost exposed by this girl. He quickly turned around and fled, preparing to avoid her for a few days by using the excuse of closed-door cultivation. Among the 7 senior sisters, Seraphina Zhao is closest to his age. She had a rough and deprived childhood, harboring deep fear and suspicion towards him. Seraphina Zhao seemed to see through everything. Although this kid looks grown up physically, he is still just a little child, just trying to hide from himself. Can't he come up with a better excuse? After a while, Ethan Yi ran to a cave in the back mountains. With Azure Robes present, the cave quickly began to feel like home. Ethan Yi then instructed Azure Robe to leave first, and he would send her a message if needed. Little did they know, a figure appeared in the cave just as Azure Robe left. Ethan Yi thought Azure Robe had returned, so he spoke up and asked if there was something else. I didn't expect it to be the 7th senior sister who came uninvited. You just returned, and now you're in seclusion. Could it be to avoid yourself, little Ease? The next second, she was already in front of Ethan Yi. Come on. Tell senior sister how you did it. A lying child will be punished. Senior sister doesn't want to spank you again. After all, you're already a young man. Ethan Yi's expression is full of black lines. But he still said with a smile, Senior sister, you have to believe me. It's just that I suddenly grew taller after taking the Dan pills my mother gave me. Seraphina Zhao naturally did not believe this absurd reason. She immediately wanted to teach Ethan Yi a lesson. she was seen picking up Ethan Yi directly. Ethan Yi was a little out of breath from being lifted. He blushed instantly. Just as the two of them were goofing around, Ethan Yi, unable to bear it any longer, applied too much force. It seemed like he hit a soft spot. Then, senior sister felt weak and collapsed. Ethan Yi, also losing his balance, ended up lying on top of senior sister. This strange position instantly made Serafina Zhao blush shyly. Ethan Yi hurriedly swore to the sky that he absolutely did not behave inappropriately. It was definitely an accident. Serafina Zhao was also caught off guard by this sudden change. She immediately turned into a little obedient child. Little Ease begs you to tell senior sister, okay? I really want it. The young woman is always full of laughter and joy. However, only she knows her own pain. Every time it gets late and quiet, she falls into deep self-doubt. It turns out that just earlier, the seventh senior sister expressed her inner thoughts. Little junior brother, senior sister is really impatient. I want it too much. Senior sister looks so pitiful. It's really heart-wrenching. Upon hearing her intriguing words, Ethan Yi couldn't hold back. Is it all so direct? However, the next moment, the fantasy abruptly came to an end. Among the 7 senior sisters, only her bust was the smallest. This was a lifelong pain for senior sister. Then she looked melancholic and said, "Do you know why I don't like being naked with them?" Just as Ethan Yi was lost in thought. The 7th senior sister exploded in anger the next second because they were just too big. Facing them would make it even harder to forgive herself. I have to say, the speed at which a woman's mood changes is indeed faster than flipping through a book, as the words had just barely fallen. Serafina Zhao directly held a long sword to Ethan Yi's neck. Ethan Yi had never encountered such a situation before. He trembled and moved away on the spot. Senior sister, be careful not to go too far. In fact, Ethan also has some ways to deal with it. Upon hearing these words, Serafina Zhao was suddenly overjoyed, as if she had seen a whole new world. Ethan Yi continued to say, "As the saying goes, there are 3 treasures for breast enhancement: papaya, silicone, and men's hands. Unfortunately, the younger brother happens to excel in the last one." Serafina Zhao was left speechless after hearing this. Although she didn't understand, she felt like it made a lot of sense. Since senior sister is in such a hurry, we might as well do it today. Today, little brother will help you heal. When he acts like a hooligan, his eyes have never been so determined, even more than the up-host. Serafina Zhao looked at him expectantly. "So you want to give me a massage?" "Yes." "Stimulate your 99 acupuncture points directly. Release passion. Savage development." Although Serafina Zhao felt somewhat reluctant inside. But remembering the inferiority she felt when she was with her senior sisters, Serafina Zhao went all in. Let the storm come more vigorously. With that, she directly started violently stripping off her clothes. Ethan Yi opposite was stunned. At the same time, he couldn't help but admire, although small, it is very delicate. I wonder why she doesn't like it. Serafina Zhao half closed her eyes and said, "Come, junior brother, let me see your amazing claw technique within this narrow space." Suddenly, the air was filled with hormones. Ethan Yi also suppressed the palpitations in his heart. At this moment, he could only hope for the understanding of a fellow practitioner. The massage technique was not deceiving. Immediately, he unleashed a series of devil's claw attacks. Dozens of afterimages kept moving around senior sister. This kind of good fortune is simply something that others can't even dream of in their whole life. As Ethan Yi's skills gradually improved, Serafina Zhao could no longer contain her voice. It seemed like she was in a lot of pain, but then again, who knows for sure. At the same time, the scene suddenly shifted to Jade Twilight Peak in the scared land of immortal destiny. Several Sect Lord Masters were waiting eagerly with anticipation. After a moment, several beams of light descended directly from the sky. The person who came is the 3rd Elder Ivana Lu from the sacred land of the Red Dust, along with a group of disciples who came to pay their respects. Jade Twilight the true immortal also politely said, Those who have traveled a long way should rest first. The immortal Jade Peak sisters were also puzzled. In previous years, there would be at least dozens of disciples coming. This year, it seems like they didn't even care. The third senior sister said, "If you are bullied every year, you won't feel like coming anymore." The second senior sister also looked up at the sky. Immortal Destiny and the Red Dust, the two major holy lands, have always been friendly. In recent years, the popularity of the sacred land of the Red Dust has declined significantly. They have been left far behind. As usual, there will be a sparring session at the banquet. I will take care of Immortal Jade Peak. There is no need for you all to fight. Then, they followed the crowd to the main hall. At this time, the second senior sister also had some schemes in mind. It would be great if Little Ease were here. But now, he has chosen to go into seclusion. He must be practicing even more powerful techniques. The scene changes, inside the cave on the back mountain of Immortal Destiny. Ethan Yi is sleeping soundly on the seventh senior sister. The two of them look very happy and content. Obviously, they benefited greatly from the night's battle.